Personally, I think Plants vs. Zombies 2 is better than the first one. I don't know.
Alright. First off, you're wrong. Secondly, this reminds me a lot of the sponsor of today's conversation. Bromine. With an atomic number of 35, a symbol of Br, a neutron number of 45, the protons and electrons both equaling 35 because they're equal to the atomic number, an atomic mass of 79.904, or rounded out to about 80, that is bromine. With physical properties ranging from a reddish-brown liquid with an appreciable vapor pressure at room temperature, bromine is a vapor that is amber in color and has a pungent odor that's irritating to both skin and eyes. As for chemical properties, bromine displaces hydrogen from saturated hydrocarbons and adds to unsaturated hydrocarbons, which just means that bromine takes away from saturated hydrocarbons and adds itself to the loose unsaturated hydrocarbons, alongside combining violently with alkali metals and being more active than iodine but less active than chlorine. Here's a diagram. Yeah, focus on that, Brian, please. Cool, thank you. With common compounds that use bromine being flame retardants such as CF3Br and CH2Br2, which is emitted from oceans, and methanol bromine, which is a pesticide. I'm gonna ad-lib this part. As for how it was discovered, it's actually a pretty interesting story. In 1825, some dude named Lowig was like, hey, look at this seaweed, I'm gonna ground it up, and then he found out that it's a new chemical, entirely new, called bromine, that was dark in color. And so he was like, oh, well, I'm gonna, put in an investigation, see if it actually works, and sure enough, it did work. And sure enough, it was a chemical. However, the results took far too long to arrive, and instead some other scientist named Ballard ended up doing the same experiments, slightly different, in 1826, in which he discovered a compound, or what he decided was a compound between iodine and chlorine, which ended up being a regular element that was a brand new element, that of course being bromine. How do people use it? Commonly used as a flame retardant, small amounts of bromine are used and added into furniture foams and plastic casing for electronics. However, the use of bromine has been phased out of the U.S. due to toxicity concerns. It's also used in insecticides and pharmaceuticals. However, both are being phased out due to toxicity concerns as well. You gain all that?
Huh?
Yeah. Is the element important? Yes, to a degree. Why? Well, bromine was very useful as a flame retardant, but due to its reactivity and it being a halogen, it's very dangerous to use and incredibly reactive with the most basic of elements. Thus, it's being phased out for more common uses, making it less important due to science and chemistry as a whole being more advanced and finding new ways to do things that don't require bromine. However, it still has its uses in other practices. And on to our interesting facts. It's the only non-atomic element that is liquid at room temperature. Lowig, despite first discovering the element, was not immediately given credit because of the results for an experiment to isolate bromine taking far too long compared to Ballard. At room temperature liquid state, bromine is a deep oily red, similar to that of soy sauce, surprisingly. Bromine comes from the Greek word bromos, meaning stench. It's used in water purification as a binding agent for citrus-flavored sodas. And, of course, it's the BR in Breaking Bad. Here are my references. I'm going to include them in the description, so that way people can read them. Did you get all of that? Yeah. See, he got all of it. Thank you so much for Bromine for sponsoring this video. Why'd you grab my chest book?
To blow air.
Okay.